are back in Blender. And so we're ready to go and export our model and our textures into the DMC5 format. So, before we do that, what we have to do is we want to be sure our models have the right name. You could always add custom names to them using complex file editing stuff, but this is going to be simple. We're going to go for basics. So, for the top half, I'm going to assign this to the body. So I'm going to copy over this name from the body mesh, and then I'm going to paste it over onto our body mesh that we are replacing. And then for the shoes, if I recall correctly, I put them on the coat. So I am going to grab the coat texture, and I'm going to go paste that, just like that. And then, make sure I got the right leg mesh here. I do. And I'm going to copy over this leg mesh, the name of it, and I'm going to paste it onto the legs for the model that I want to replace. And then we are pretty much all good to go. So you can select every single model that you want to export. Then once you have everything all set to go, you're ready to export your mesh. So you're just going to just drag your mouse along and then select everything. So that's going to be this, the top, the pants, the shoes, the hands, and the armature. And I'm actually going to show you how to export it the normal way, because I really don't like using the Blender plugin to export. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that your settings match this. Set it so that way it only exports the armature and the mesh, only the selected objects, and then you're going to want to click this armature drop-down menu, unclick Add Leaf Bones, and unclick Bake Animation. And then you can just go into here, and that's where I have the normal mesh saved. So you can just name it PLO100 or whatever character you're replacing. In this instance, I'm replacing Dante, so it's just going to be PLO100.mesh.fbx. And then you can save it. So let's open up Noesis, and let's go to wherever you saved your textures and also your mesh. So for me, that's going to be in here, and I'm going to actually set it to sort by type. And then you can see all the different TGAs that I have exported. So, you know, when you're in Photoshop, you want to be sure that you're saving your textures as TGAs, and then just select it. And then you can do Tools, Batch Process, and it'll look for all TGAs in this folder. It'll output them. You can change that to 11, which is the DMC5 texture format. If you just choose Folder Batch, it should automatically have the folder that you have your textures in selected. Just press OK, and see, it looked for all the TGAs that I put in there. And now I'm actually going to delete this because I don't want them to be in their own custom files. Just want to double check that it saves all correctly. And I'm going to click Recursive, and then I'm going to click Export. And it's going to ask you to export over each text. And bam, all done. And if we go into the folder now, we can double check that everything exported. So I'm just going to change the view to details. I'm going to do the sort by date modified. And you can see that everything exported pretty normal looking. So let's just double click on one of them. Just open it with Noesis just to double check that everything saved okay. So I'm just going to refresh actually, because I don't know why it's not opening with Noesis. And then I'm going to actually choose modified instead of type. So that way I can just see, you know, when it was modified. And it looks like there's no errors, nothing corrupted, nothing got fucked up. So that's great. So you can see that I have my FBX that I exported from Blender selected. It's all in here. It looks pretty normal, looks pretty good. And you can also check the armature. Armature looks good. That's what this does right here. This just shows the armature that you use to pose it, and that's going to be in the game. Sometimes it might not be selected properly in Blender, and you want to be sure that you have it selected, so that way when you save it as an FBX, it will show up in Noesis and work in the game. So, we can go to File, Export, and we can choose this on the drop-down menu to DMC5 Mesh. Just click Export, and it should handle it all for you. A little window will pop up asking you which mesh to export over. Just choose the default Dante mesh, or whatever character you want to replace. In my case, it's going to be Dante. I'm just going to click OK. And now that it's all complete, it takes a few seconds to export, but don't worry. That's just it doing its job. It's all complete. I can close it. I can refresh it. And I could check the mesh out. That is the one that we exported. And let's take a look and make sure that it loads correctly. Awesome. I'm not seeing any issues here. Nothing is out of place. Nothing looks wrong. So that means that we are all good to make a mod. So, if you want to make a mod, just open up your, wherever you have Fluffy Mod Manager stored. So in my case, it would be in DMC5, Mod Manager, Games, DMC5, Mods, and now what you want to do is you want to just make a new folder, call it whatever. I'm going to call this Suit Dante. I would call it Dante Suit, but I already have a lot of Dante mods, so that's just going to be cluttering up the D section of my mods manager. So once you have your folder all created, you want to go Natives. That's the first folder that you want to create. Then in Natives, you want to create a folder called x64. And then from there, you want to create a folder called Character, Player, and then in Player, you want to make sure that you have every folder for whatever character that you're replacing. So in my case, it's going to be Dante. So I'm going to do PLO 100 underscore Dante. And then I also want to add his dirt files in. So every character has a different texture for when they are a little dirty or really dirty. So Dante has 2. So PLO 130 underscore Dante underscore dirt. And PLO 131 underscore Dante underscore mid dirt. And then inside Dante, I'm going to want to make a folder called PLO 100 underscore body. And then I'm going to open that. And then I am going to open back up where I have all my textures exported out and my model. And then I'm going to go to Dante Suit, go to where I have that exported. And I'm going to choose all of my textures and my mesh. I'm going to press Control C to copy them, Control V to paste them in. And then this part is a little tedious, but it's not that bad. It's not as bad as any of the other stuff we've been doing so far. Just gonna remove every instance of out at the end of every single file. And the reason why NoAssist does this is so that way it doesn't overwrite the original model or texture that you're saving. So it's good to always have the original version of whatever you are modifying. Just keep that in mind. Just always back up your original files, always back up your mod files, just always back up your files in general. That's just general advice, not even modding advice. And as you can see, we're already all done here. So, next what you want to do is you actually want to copy this body, and then you're going to want to paste this in, and you're going to want to press F2 to rename it, delete one of the O's in 100, and make it 130 body. And then you can actually delete the mesh here. You don't need a mesh in the 130 folders or the 131 folders. And you're going to want to go through and just rename everything to 130. You could always copy over some of the files to make it so that way the game reads the materials for the clean mesh instead of the dirty mesh. But we're doing this the easy way, okay? That's a little bit more advanced, but you can always figure that out on your own later. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing here. I'm going to copy over 130, paste it into 131, and then rename it to 131, and rename everything else in here to 131. So, now that everything is all done, everything is properly in the right place, everything is renamed, we are actually all good to go into the game and actually test it out now. So I'm going to open up Mod Manager, I'm going to refresh my mod list, I'm going to search, and I'm going to look for Suit Dante. There it is, right there. So I'm just going to turn it on. And it says that it modified 28 paths in the game archives. That's good. That means that it registered the files and it put them in the right places, and now they're changed in the game. So now we can go to the desktop and test the game. So I'm going to meet you when I'm in the game. Alrighty, so as you can see, we're on the title screen, and if I just scroll down a little bit, you can see that he's in the suit. He's looking spiffy as ever, and it looks pretty good, but we just want to hop into a mission and double check real quick. You can also go to the gallery and look at the characters to double check, but I personally like going into the mission just because you can run around, see if there's anything that looks fucky, see if there's anything that needs changing, all that sort of stuff. So we're in the mission, and I just start running around, and wowzers, it looks pretty stinking good. I'm just gonna do a jump, and I'm gonna pop open photo mode real quick. I'm just gonna double check everything, make sure it looks decent. And yeah, this actually looks pretty freaking good. I'd say this is something that we could grab a few pictures of, pop on Nexus right now, no problems. So yeah, I'd say that's actually pretty much the entire process of making a mod. from start to finish. So I applaud anyone who has stuck with me throughout this entire process, and I implore you to check out the DMC modding Discord. I will leave a link down in the description, and also just check the description for timestamps if you need to go back over anything, or if you need to re-download any programs that are also in there. But yeah, thanks to everyone who watched, and I'm sorry this took so long. I know I promised a few people I would make this. I started it back in May, and it is now June. Things happen.